In today's dollars, if he'd have taken that money and invested it, it would be worth about $20 now. Hey, Dylan. Better dead than Ron. Eat some. You know, just when you think you defeated those commies, they come back again. Different color, same ideology.
You hippies make me sick.
We're at the Mod 60s party.
Make me sick.
What's it?
You're a greaser, and I'm a Mod flower child.
Time to eat.
Yeah, we grabbed a table back there.
Okay.
Middle of the room.
They're out there, you just gotta find them.
Yeah, but they're shooting more courts and I'm different than down there. I was in Sandusky. It's very, very
The world still is the same. You never change. As sure as the stars.
Mary Kay's secret about her babysitting days has been exposed. Her mother's like really upset that she was smoking.
I just want to say that this party that Dan and Mary Kay have thrown for everybody is just one example of the love and generosity that they show for their friends and their family. And I know that you and I would be very good friends, even if we weren't sisters. So I'd like to put up happy birthday, Mary Kay and Dan.
Mary Kay?
All right. And the rebuttal is? No, I want to thank you all for coming. And thanks for going with the 60s theme. And a friend of mine just had one of these parties, and she went around to each individual and talked about them, and I'm not going to do that to you. I am going to pick on a few people here who I knew and grew up with in the 60s. Diane Steele, for example, she and I went to Catholic school together, and I worried my way through Catholic school because I was sure I was going to hell. And she was never worried about going to hell, and I said, how do you do that? I said, these priests and nuns are telling us all this stuff, and she goes, my mother said, I don't have to listen to any of these people. And I thought, hot damn, she's my hero. Another person, of course, is my good friend Gail. We met in 1969 at Ford Motor Company, and I saw her coming into the plant wearing, I was looking through the employment office window, and I saw this gorgeous redhead with beehive hairdo in a mini skirt, and she was laughing, and I was scared out of my mind, and I thought, well, she looks nice, maybe she'll be my friend. and she did, and she was, and she's still, we're like a little marriage, we say. And who else do I know? Kathy. Kathy and I went on a trip to Michigan one year where we ran out of money and we were driving home and we bought donuts with our last $2. And we were so sunburned we couldn't drive any further, and we stopped in Ann Arbor wondering what we were going to do. And we stayed in the flop house. We found a flop house. Did we have soup in the morning? And we stayed there all night long. We barred the door and we listened to everybody retching all night. It was an adventure. We couldn't even pay our turnpike fee when we got home. So we had some adventures in the 60s. Now, there is one couple here. I do want them to stand up, Sheila and Bob. And the reason I do, and this thank you is 15 years late, Sheila. Sheila is the realtor who showed Dan my condo. He didn't even want to look at a condo, but she dragged him there anyway. And he said, well, I don't like the condo, but I kind of like the girl. She figured he wouldn't have the nerve to call and ask me out, so she did. And said, listen, this guy's a really nice guy, and would you go out with him if he asked you? And I had already been eyeing him up and down, and he was looking at the condo, so I said, like, I said, so Sheila, it's 15 years late, my dear, but thank you. I promise I wasn't kidding. Growing up, I'd like to state that Mary Kay's my older sister, actually by 10 years. So 40 already. Yeah. And I'd like to say that looking at Mary Kay, I'm always never worried about what's to come. Seriously. But I do have one sweet story, since I was so much younger than Mary Kay. She used to babysit us as kids, so I'd be 6, so she'd be 16, and Mom and Dad would leave, and I'd be looking up at her with big eyes, thinking, what are we going to do, sissy? And she'd look down at me with big eyes and say, light my cigarettes. Now, go in the other room, I got phone calls to make. So I looked up with her with big eyes, and she looked down at me with big eyes, and I was afraid. But not anymore. I go to her for advice on everything. Heartbreak, you name it. I don't think she's afraid of me though either. Her man will know, so.
Yeah. Hi, I'm Mary Kay's sister-in-law, Deb. I'm married to her brother, Ray. And a number of years ago, Mary Kay and I took a sailing course together. And you all know Mary Kay as a sailor. Well, this was her first experience on a sailboat. And we learned on little sunfish, which were kind of like surfboards with a dagger and a mast. And we did our little sailing. We were terrified. We were supposed to turtle the boat. We were supposed to turn it over and then right it. And because Mary Kay kind of flirted with our teachers, we never did it. We just said we did. We were dry on a wet boat. And then came the day when we had to jump into Lake Erie in May. Lake Erie is very cold in May because the ice has just melted. This is before global warming. And we were supposed to jump off the end of a pier and put on life jackets in the water. And everybody jumped in and we started hyperventilating. We put on our life jackets. We all got out. We looked like the Night of the Living Dead. And there's Mary Kay with perfect hair, perfect makeup, going, oh, that was fun. So my sister-in-law, Mary Kay, always looks stunning. And I have always looked up to her as, as the person who just never looked bad, even when you throw her in Lake Erie and face. So happy birthday, Mary Kay. And Jan, you got a good catch there right out of Lake Erie.